What if I told you that buying the wrong Pokemon card set out of these three could cost you thousands of dollars in the next 5 years? Making the right decisions when investing in sealed Pokemon card product is really, really important. And there's a question that me personally have been asking. I've been asking myself almost, like, what's the better investment? There's been three massive holiday sets in the last 3 years. 151, Prismatic Evolutions, and Ascended Heroes. They're all at different price points, they're all at different ages, but right now, which one of those three mega holiday sets is the best investment? That's what we're going to ask ourselves today. Hey, I'm Michael, PokeOz. We talk all things Pokemon card investing on this channel. So if you're new here, welcome. And if you're tuning back in, I really, really appreciate your support. It means a lot. So how do we rank them? That's the big question. And I thought, like, how do we make it fair? Because 151's already run up a lot. We all know that. Ascended's just come out. It's in a Mega Evolution block. There's every chance it's going to get massive amounts of reprints. Prismatic isn't that old, but it's had huge amounts of print runs in the last 18 months. So I thought, well, there's a few ways to rank it. The first one I'm going to rank it on is nostalgia. Nostalgia is really, really important and does actually add a lot of value to a sealed product. The second one I'm going to rank it on, and I'm very, very big on this, is chase cards. Chase cards, total set value, best hits, grading plays, those things are so imperative to the future value of a sealed product. The third one I'm going to rank it on is supply. So what's current supply like? What's future supply like? What does that mean from an investing standpoint? Fourth one I'm going to rank it on is long-term upside. So what actually has the best long-term upside at current price points? And finally, risk. Fifth factor, any investment does have risk and you do need to downside or minimize your risk. So they're the 5 things we're going to be ranking these sets on: nostalgia, chase cards, supply, long-term upside, and risk, to essentially get ourselves or narrow it down to what is the best investment right now. So let's talk about nostalgia. It's one of the biggest drivers, impacts of long-term Pokemon pricing. It's why people come back to the hobby. It's what brings people into the hobby, and it's what brings people back to the hobby. Nostalgia is one hell of a drug, and it's something you cannot put a price on nostalgia, and I can't hammer that home enough. You know, sometimes if I've had and this might be getting a little bit personal, but sometimes if I've had a tough day or something, opening just a couple of packs of Pokemon cards where, you know, set yourself aside from the world for a second and go into a space like this in my place and open a few packs of Pokemon cards, and, you know, the smell that comes from them and the fact that you see your favorite Pokemon and the fact that you might pull a chase card from your favorite set. You just can't put a price on that nicety of being able to do that. That is really, really important. So let's start off with it. 151 realistically is going to be near impossible to beat in this category. It has the most nostalgia. It has the most nostalgia because it has the original nostalgia. It has what us in our 30s, and look, all other age groups as well, you know, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s might have, you know, done this with their kids, but you know, it has that original. These are the Game Boy games. This is the OG television series. This is the OG base set. This is the ones that, you know, you used to save up your pocket money and hope your parents would drive you into the local card store. So, you know, the fortnight of pocket money you've saved up, you might be able to get yourself a jungle or a fossil or a base set booster pack, and that initial rush of trying to pull a holographic and trade them with friends at school, that was all brought back with 151. That is the original nostalgia tool, and that is why so many people, and I will stand on my sword with this one, that is why so many people came back into the hobby, all due to 151. Now, that's not to say there isn't going to be nostalgia for Prismatic Evolutions, or there isn't going to be nostalgia for Ascended Heroes. What Pokemon card sets will often do is they'll often draw on people's nostalgia. They know it's a big selling tool. Like, why make a set that no one's going to buy? And look, it happens from time to time. Sets are made and no one wants them. That doesn't mean they're not valuable in the future, but it means at release, they're not wanted because they don't have good chase cards inside them. And what drives a good chase card, or what makes a good chase card, is the fact that it has nostalgic Pokemon. It has Pokemon inside it that ring true with collectors and investors alike. And that's true for Ascended Heroes. Like, Pokemon will play on that. That's why there's Gengars, that's why there's Charizard, that's why there's Pikachu, that's why there's some Gen 2 Pokemon like Meganium and Feraligatr. Pokemon will play on the nostalgia trip. And same with Prismatic Evolutions. We all know how successful Eevee Heroes was in Japan. We all know how successful that was when part of that set was transported into the English Evolving Skies. And Pokemon knows that Evolutions bring about a lot of nostalgia as well. But to rank these three sets, I think it has to go in this order. Like, 151 is clearly the winner in this category 1, which is nostalgia. Prismatic Evolutions, due to all the evolutions inside there, in my opinion, falls into number 3. And Ascended into number 2, and Ascended Heroes falls into number 3 because it pulls back a couple of chase cards that have some nostalgia attached to them from from the original 151, but that's essentially all it's relying on. Category 2, this is the most important one in my opinion, is chase cards. Chase cards are just imperative, and I'm going to show them up on the screen here. So let's talk through Ascended Heroes first. Ascended Heroes has the highest total set value out of all three of these sets. It has 11 cards that are worth north of $100 and it has 2 massive chase cards north of $1,000. This is an absolute belter of a set. Everyone knows that. Everyone is chasing these cards. One thing which, it's not really a scoring category for this video, but one thing that comes into play here is also the gem rates. So how many PSA 10 copies of these cards will be, what's the multiplication effect from a raw card to a PSA 10, and that's very dependent on gem rate. That's something else that needs to come into play. And I did just want to note that Ascended Heroes gem rates are quite easy. The gold card is a little bit harder, as we know, throughout Mega Evolution block, but the SIRs in here seem to grade pretty well. Like, they're ticking along at 60 or early 60% grading. The percentage that are achieving a 10 that gets sent into PSA. So Ascended Heroes, I mean, you can't go Gengar, Pikachu, Charizard, Meganium, Feraligatr, Mewtwo, like even down to the Psyduck, which is just an absolutely beautiful chase card. It has so many chase cards. Now, the total set value, there's every chance that'll change a little bit. Why? Because it'll get reprinted. And if it gets reprinted, which it will, it's going to mean more supply of these singles, which will drop the total set value a little bit. Same thing, Prismatic Evolutions total set value was sitting around Ascended Heroes total set value at the same time after release. It was well north of $7,000. And if we bring Prismatic up on the screen here now, you'll see total set values hovering around $6,000. This has also the exact same number of chase cards above $100 as Ascended Heroes. It has 11 cards above $100 raw, but it only has 1 card north of $1,000, which is of course that Umbreon. What's your favorite evolution from this one? My 2 favorites are the Espeon and Umbreon. I think they have the nicest art. They're not, especially Espeon isn't the most expensive. I think it's the 4th most expensive chase card in this set. And it reminds me of Sword and Shield era, Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike, my 2 favorite evolution alt arts from Sword and Shield era was, again, the Espeon from Fusion Strike and the Umbreon from Evolving Skies. So what's your favorite? Huge chase card list on here for Prismatic Evolutions. Master Ball Hollows, both Ascended Heroes and Prismatic, have God Packs, which just make the fun of chase cards even better, doesn't it? And moving along, our final of the 3, 151, has the lowest total set value. It has 6 cards above $100 and no cards north of $1,000. So it's missing the knockout punch, so to speak, 151. It doesn't have that big chase card. In fact, it doesn't even have a chase card north of $500, which isn't a dig at the set. You don't particularly need to be a strong investment. You don't particularly need a heap of chase cards above $500. I think if 151 did have a chase card north of $1,000, it would really help it. Most definitely. Like, if it made, I don't know, the Charizard a harder pull, like rather than being, 1 in 400 packs like it is, what if it was 1 in 2,000 packs? It's going to make it so much rarer. It's going to make the number of PSA 10s a lot less. But when it comes to this, I think they need to be ranked in the order that I just read them out. When it comes to chase cards, I think Ascended Heroes is number 1. It just is stacked. It really is. And I think how stacked it is will stand the test of time. Number 2, I think, has to go to Prismatic Evolutions, just because of the number of evolutions inside there and the strength of that Umbreon. And number 3 needs to go to 151 with no chase cards above $500. Again, not ragging on the set at all. It's just the facts and figures there. That's how I rank number 2. Let's move on to supply. But before we do that, I did want to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. You can find my journey down in the content creators section. Collector is just the best app when it comes to investing or collecting Pokemon cards. You can add your whole inventory into there. You can look at any modern set. In fact, you can look at every set. English, Japanese, you can jump into any set. You can pull the total set value, look at the top chase cards. You can see, particularly as a pro user, a lot of data on the chase cards. You can go way back in time and see how the chase cards have been performing. You can look at PSA 10 populations. You can look at your portfolio and see how much you've spent, how much gains you've made. It's just a one-stop shop app for doing all those things. There'll be a link in the description to download Collector. Right, moving on to supply. This is where things get fairly interesting when it comes to supply, because 151, as we know, got multiple print waves. People were saying, specifically after the second print wave, which was only small in comparison to the first massive wave, is that there's going to be a huge reprint. It's going to tank the market. Don't buy, don't buy. Elite trainer boxes, $40 US. What? They're already at $100 US. Don't buy them. Like, it's too dear. Or I think they weren't even that. They were like $70 or $80 US. And people were going, no, don't buy them. They're too dear. It's going to be like Japanese 151. We're going to get smashed with reprints. It's going to absolutely tank the price. I'm going to wait until I can pick up 151 Elite trainer boxes. You know what? That huge reprint, it never came. And even when waves of reprints come, which weren't small, mind you, they were eaten up. It didn't hurt it. And the exact same thing can be said for Prismatic. It goes to show just how resilient these good holiday sets are, because typically, if we saw the amount of reprints we're seeing for weaker sets, like imagine if Perfect Order, which has had a big initial wave, which is still sitting on shelves because it's not popular, its initial wave was no bigger than Prismatic Evolutions. Its initial wave was no bigger than 151. It's sitting on shelves still. Imagine if we got another massive reprint of Perfect Order. It would absolutely smash the price of the singles, and it would absolutely smash the price of the sealed product, because there would just be too much supply. What this goes to show, 151, Prismatic Evolutions, the amount of supply getting thrown at those sets, they just ate it up. The market just ate it up. The market absorbed it. And I can tell you what, the exact same thing will happen with Ascended Heroes. The market will just absorb them. Now, that's one thing we don't know. Is there still going to be another reprint of Prismatic Evolutions? Is there going to be another reprint of Ascended Heroes? That's the one that seems the most likely. We could almost say with utmost certainty that we shouldn't see a reprint of 151. We really shouldn't. I think that's well and truly in the rear view mirror. It's gone out of rotation. Could there be some leftover stock found somewhere at some stage, which means, a drop or something on Pokemon Center for a short amount of time? Well, possibly. Those things do happen from time to time out of the reprint window. But if we talk about it really, like in first place, I guess, with the amount of supply left on the market, whether it's Elite Trainer boxes or Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, and the run up in price they've had, it's 151 clearly has the least amount of supply. It just does. So when it comes to supply, you can't go past 151. Now, when it comes in second place, I think it's got to be Prismatic. And then third place, Ascended Heroes. Ascended Heroes is well and truly within the reprint window and should cop multiple reprints, which will mean more and more supply of that set coming to the market. So that's how I rank them with supply. Now, let's move into the fourth and fifth categories, which are the important ones. So long-term upside, because you're an investor, that's what's really important. You want to make gains. Like, that's what you're in the game for. That's what you put your skin in for the game for. That's what you put your money in the game for. You want to make long-term gains. And this is where opinions will get divided. Or this is where my thoughts get divided, because you look at it, 151 has run up like crazy. Prismatic started to move a little bit in the last 3 months. Ascended has also run up like crazy, particularly on the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. And here's my take on Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. If you don't get them from the Pokemon Center, if you don't get them at retail, the secondary market price on these are absolutely ridiculous. Like, just look at Ascended Heroes pricing already for Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes. Like, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 times recommended retail price. Like, absolutely insane. I don't think there's much point investing in that price point. You're still going to make gains, you will, but geez, you've missed the boat big time. So for the general Joe Blow, so to speak, people like myself or you watching, if you don't have access to distribution, if you don't have a line there with Pokemon Center and you've got to buy things on the secondary market, you're probably turning your attention more to investing in regular elite trainer boxes, whether that's 151, Prismatic, or Ascended Heroes. And I look at the price, 151 has run up a lot. So when you're looking at long-term upside from this very point in time, it's hard to say go 151. If we go very long term, way into the future, like I'm talking 15 years, when it looks like these sets are very close together because they're so far in the rear view mirror in 15 years time, I think 151 will be the most expensive. It just will. But your buy-in price now is a lot dearer than Prismatic Evolutions and Ascended Heroes. I think although 151 doesn't have the chase cards inside it, it has that nostalgia factor, and I think it has that rarity, like the box with the Snorlax and all the different 151 Pokemon on there. Like, I think it's just going to be the most expensive long term. So overall long term upside from the most expensive box in the future, I think it's going to be 151. And then I ask myself, well, you know, realistically, the 151 Elite Trainer box is, you know, 2 times the price of some of the, or 2.5 times the price of the others in terms of an initial buy-in. So I think for overall upside right now, what has the best long-term upside, I'm actually going to put my money into Prismatic Evolutions in that sense. Second place overall long-term upside, I think I would go Ascended Heroes, and third 151. If you'd invested into 151 at the get-go, that's going to be your absolute winner, particularly with the pricing that it was back then. Now, risk. This is the 5th category we wanted to talk about, which is you wanting to minimize your downside risk. And I think when it comes to risk, 151 has well and truly proven itself. The downside risk of this, I don't think there really is any. In fact, I don't think there's heaps with all 3 of them. I think they're all very, very, very safe plays at the current price points. And you know what, even if Ascended Heroes, that probably that carries the most risk in my opinion, because it'll get reprinted, or it should get reprinted. But if it does get reprinted, because it hasn't run up so much, you know, it's not a $700 Elite Trainer box. The secondary market price might get squashed by $20, $30, $40, which we saw with Prismatic. You know, when Prismatic copped reprints, we saw it run up a little bit, then it copped a reprint and it might have dropped at $20, $30. Then, you know, in the space of a couple of months when that supply gets eaten up, it goes back to where it was. And then another reprint comes, it drops a little bit, and then it goes back and runs up to where it was. So I think the resilience of these sets, there's actually very little downside risk with any of them. And even if Ascended does get reprinted, well, you could dollar cost average. And look, some people that matters, some people it doesn't. In my opinion, it does matter a little bit. Like your initial entry point buy-in price is actually fairly important. If you're planning on holding for 20 years, I mean, it's probably not all that important whether you bought an Ascended Heroes for, you know, $80 or $120, because in 15 years time or 20 years time, there's not going to be a great deal of difference there. But if you're planning on holding for 5 years or so, I think that's actually pretty important when it comes to that stage. So now let's narrow it down. The final rankings, it feels like, you know, 151 is probably won the most rankings here. So the answer really was investing in 151 at its initial purchase price when I shouldn't say no one wanted it, when everyone thought, no, it's too dear, it's run up too quickly, it's going to get reprinted. That was the perfect time to buy, when everyone was scared of it. You know, it goes back to that old saying, doesn't it? You know, be fearful when other people are greedy, and be greedy when other people are fearful. Everyone was fearful of 151 that would get reprinted, and that was your time to be greedy. That was the perfect investment. Right now, at current price points, my money's got to be on Prismatic Evolutions, only because it carries, in my opinion, the right level of nostalgia, the right level of chase cards, the right number above $100, the right gem rates, in that they're just not super easy to pull. So we're going to have this grading effect, particularly with that Umbreon EX, where in my opinion it's going to remain a, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6 PSA 10 card because of how difficult it is to grade in comparison to some of the others. And it's got plenty of upside potential. It's still a good buy. there you have it. I think we've talked ourselves into into the winner here. I'm Michael, PokeOz. Thanks everyone so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you all next time.